You've probably seen photos of this hike all over the internet. That's the Stoos Ridge Hike. The Stoos Ridge Hike is one of the most famous ridge trails in Switzerland. It connects two mountain peaks, the Klingenstock and Fronalpstock, right above the car-free village of Stoos in central Switzerland. The whole hike is about 4 kilometers long and it usually takes around 2 to 3 hours if you do the full route. The trail goes up and down constantly with a lot of stairs and some pretty steep sections as well. You need to be in a decent shape and sure-footed because parts of the ridge are a bit narrow. Now what makes this hike so special is the scenery. On one side we've got a valley and Lake Lucerne views coming up with time. On the other side you see the iconic Mitten peaks as well as Stoos village and, if you visit in summer, grazing cows. Now most people start the hike at Klingenstock. You can either walk up from the village of Stoos or you can take the chairlift straight to the top and save your energy for the ridge. From there, the trail immediately begins with a narrow section that gives you a taste of what's ahead. Now sometimes you'll think that you're done, but then there's another climb waiting for you. If you come from the Klingenstock side, the toughest part is actually near the end, when the trail drops steeply and then climbs again just before Fronalpstock. The highlight for many people comes near Fronalpstock. That's when the ridge suddenly opens up and you get a big reveal of Lake Lucerne, with many of its arms stretching out. Now this is the end of the hike, where you'll also find a large terrace and a restaurant. It's a perfect spot to rest and have a drink and just soak in the panorama after the effort on the ridge. And if you're planning your trip right now, I've put together a free Switzerland planning starter pack. It includes 2 guides. You can download it at switzerlandinsider.com/start or through the link below. To get to the Stoos Ridge Hike, you first have to reach the village of Stoos. The easiest way is from Schwyz, where you take the Stoos funicular. Now, if you come from Lucerne, you take the train to Art and then hop on a bus that stops right by the funicular station. Now this very funicular is actually the steepest in the world and it climbs straight up the hillside to the car-free village in just a few minutes. Another option is the cable car from Morschach, which also takes you into the village. Now once you're there, you have 2 choices to get onto the ridge. On one side, the chairlift goes up to Klingenstock. That's where most people actually start. On the other side, there's a chairlift up to Fronalpstock, which is where the hike finishes. Now both these lifts save you a big climb, but if you're looking for a challenge, then you can hike up from Stoos to Klingenstock or from Stoos to Fronalpstock as well. Now if you don't want that challenge, here it's important to note that if you have the Swiss travel pass, only the funicular up to Stoos is included. This ride normally costs 24 full fare or 12 with the half fare card. Now, the chairlifts to Klingenstock and Fronalpstock are not included, but with the Swiss travel pass, you can get a discounted ticket. Now this is a misconception that many travelers actually have. So, to have the ticket that includes both the funicular and the chairlifts, opt for the peak experience ticket. Like this, you can do the whole ridge hike without paying separately for each lift. The peak experience ticket costs 56 Swiss francs full price, 44 Swiss francs with the half fare card, or 34 with the Swiss travel pass. If you have the TEL pass, then both the village ride and the peak experience ticket are completely included. Now, although the hike itself is the main attraction, the village Stoos is also worth a quick look. It's a small, car-free place sitting on a sunny plateau. The houses and hotel are mostly a bit more modern, so it doesn't feel like one of those traditional wooden villages, but still a cozy base with a few restaurants and guest houses. In winter, Stoos turns into a ski resort. The chairlifts that you take to Klingenstock and Fronalpstock are part of a ski area, and the slopes spread out right above the village. This means that the Stoos Ridge Hike is only a summer hike. The official hiking season usually starts in June. That's when the trail is inspected after winter, repaired where it was damaged, and safety chains are put up along the more exposed parts. From then on, it's considered open and maintained until October. If you go earlier in the year, you might still be able to hike it, but it's always at your own risk. And honestly, that's true at any time of the year. This is a real ridge hike in the mountains. It's not a theme park trail. So you need to be prepared and you're responsible for your own safety. Now, if you're afraid of heights or if you're not used to mountain trails, this might feel a bit challenging. For small kids, I wouldn't recommend it as the path is too narrow in some spots and it can be exhausting. So how would I prepare for this hike? I'd use proper hiking shoes, bring plenty of water and, depending on the season, also sunscreen, because there is no shade along the entire hike. Now, if you want a shorter version, you can skip the hike completely and just take the lift up to Fronalpstock for the lake views and do a shorter hike up there. As with every good tourism product, this is well signposted and explained on site. For me, the Stoos Ridge Hike is one of the most spectacular ridge hikes in Switzerland. It's challenging enough to feel like an adventure, but still easy to reach thanks to the lifts on both ends. And that combination of ridges, mountain views, and finally the big reveal of Lake Lucerne makes it unforgettable. Many of the hikers don't know, but when enjoying the panorama, their eyes have actually touched Ridley. This is the birthplace of Switzerland. It's a meadow where the 3 founding states swore an oath, and the meadow is actually just across Lake Lucerne when you look down. Thanks for watching. See you soon around in Switzerland. Bis bald und tschüss.